हेलो। अली।
Bro, one moment, bro. Manish, one moment. Just give me a moment.
Oh, sure, sure.
Hello, Vinish, bro.
Uh,
Yeah,
yeah, Ali. Hi.
yeah, I can hear you. Your audio is clear. Could you please try to share your screen, so that we can quickly check that? I mean, the
Okay.
presentation.
Yeah.
Oh,
Can you
great.
see it?
Yeah, I can see that. Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, fine. Thank you, bro. Thank you. I'll revert back to the same previous screen. Cool.
Sure.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for your time and patience. The meeting will begin in the next 2 minutes. Dear all, welcome to the CAT from Technical Virtual Training Series. The topic for today is Virtual Training Day 3 is training on simulating hospital equipment for structural integrity and patient ergonomics. Before we start this, let me give you a brief introduction to CATFM. CATFM is the world's oldest and largest channel partner of ANSYS. With more than 30 plus years of experience in the simulation industry, CATFM has grown as a system house by providing end-to-end simulation solutions ranging from software, hardware, consulting, support, and trainings. CATFM India, together with ANSYS, organizes a series of trainings for biomedical engineers across India in association with Force Biomedical for the benefit of biomedical engineering community, which in line with our vision of providing better healthcare to all. So let us understand a bit about the topic before we dive into it deeply. All critical medical instrumentation such as life-sustaining ventilators, defibrillators, and hospital equipment such as beds, stretchers, wheelchairs would require drop tests and fatigue life tests to assess the structural integrity to comply with the respective standards. This training sheds necessary insights on the state-of-art simulation capabilities to care for structural integrity, advanced material characterization, and patient ergonomics for the efficient development of hospital equipment. So without much ado, I would like to introduce you to today's speaker, Mr. Vinesh Vijayan. Mr. Vinesh Vijayan has done his Masters of Technology in Machine Design. Before this, he has worked at ISRO as an analyst, and moreover, he's carrying 2 plus years of experience working with Mahindra and Mahindra as an assistant manager. Currently, he is contributing his efforts to CATFM India as an application engineer in the space of structures in the South region. I'm sure that he adds a great value in today's webinar, and you all can feel free to ask questions. Concerning the time we have, all your questions will be answered towards the end of the webinar. So please note that this webinar will be recorded and shared with all of you. In case, if you have any questions during the webinar, please mention all your questions in the chat window to the host only. So thank you very much, Mr. Vinesh. Now, thank you so much. Now over to you.
Hi, thank you, Ali. Hi. Ali, you're able to see my screen and hear me? Can you confirm?
Yes, your voice is clear and I'm able to see your screen.
Oh, thank you. So, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Vinesh Vijayan. So, today I will be discussing a little bit on simulation in the healthcare series. Before that, I would also suggest that we are doing a series in this coming this week itself, and we have done two series before also. So just as an introduction and covering the topics that we have covered and how simulation works in the medical industry. So as you all know, the simulation tools like ANSYS plays a really major role in aeronautical, automotive, and other major industries now, right? So even very crucial industries like NASA, aerospace, ISRO, these people use a simulation in order to understand how their product works before it actually works on the physical environment. Similarly, healthcare is also very crucial because it's a matter of life and death. But still, as you can all see, it's in the progressive stage. But I'm sure that it will also grow in a larger stage in the coming years also. So basically, what you can expect from simulation is basically um, innovations, right? Disruptive innovations in the industries like these, where you have to bring every new product every year and meeting the expectations of every different customers, and that too in the healthcare personalized customers. You have to have an innovative ideas and you have to test those innovative ideas in a fast manner so that you can bring it into the industry very soon. So for the next step, you have the idea, you tested it, everything you have done, but in order to bring it into the industry, you have to have approval from FDA also, right? So in order to do that, for now, the normal and large scale procedure that people are doing is in silico, which um, in silica, what is actually using in glass, that is PTR dish and inside laboratory. But you can use in silico. In silico, I will explain a little in further slide also, which means silico chips. That is where the name came from. That is using computers, using simulation tools. We can actually get an approval for from the FDA itself using having a using doing the simulation and getting good result and submitting those results itself. Then third point is in with the respective view of designers and surgeons. So you will have a better understanding of your product, how it works. For example, in surgeon's case and all, surgeons will be able to see the stent, how it will be performing when it is placed in a particular patient's um, uh, vein or blood vessels, right? So how the flow will be, how you can modify the stent so that the flow will be in a better way. So these all actually improves the quality of equipments as well as the healthcare industry as a total into the coming into how our medical field evolved. Basically in the initial days we did in vivo, which means we do all kind of experiments and tests in human body itself, right? Which is a very costly and time-taking procedure also. And then there is the in vitro, which I meant like you can create your own environment in a laboratory, like, or do a test in, in laboratory using different equipments and making sure it works. And the third way is the in silico, which means you do a simulation. You create your own virtual world over a personalized body, and you test in those environment or have a better simulation to understand those things. One more better thing about in silico is that um, you have the result with you in order to understand how completely it works, right? In experiments and all, you take data from a particular area, particular region, or particular way, um, but if you miss something and if you want to see again, you have to do the experiment again, right? But in silico, once you do, in different way, different kind of results are available in order to understand the product itself in a better way. So why people or why healthcare industry should look for an alternative solution like simulation is one major reason is innovative, as I mentioned. which you can have use a virtual human laboratory like in simulation world, and have a very confidence in your product in order to launch it. Second thing is long and costly clinical testing, right? So you have to test and you have to have multiple data in different people in order to have a in order to prove your product itself, right? So by using the in silico testing procedure also in pharmaceutical industries, in order to have better drugs and all, still it is being used and you can get approval also. So coming into approval period also, it is very mm, this FDA itself has a roadmap in order to understand how you can actually cut short your time as well as the money, so that you can bring your product to a market very easily and very reduced cost itself. So if you see the computer based will help in order to reduce the time, but we are not saying that the test completely itself will be removed, because test has to be done. It is an important thing. You have to do that at least. But the reputation of the test before you reach the finalized product, that prototyping, testing the prototype, getting failed, then remodeling it again, that whole part you can actually avoid. Coming into understanding what engineering simulation itself is, so basically you can take the data through scanning or different methods, and make your own STL geometry. Then taking the implant or any other kind of analysis for that, you can modify your geometry in the space claim. I will show a demo also in order to understand in the further slide. And for that, the second step is to give the proper material data also. So any analysis, the input should be more accurate. Your output depends upon your input also, right? So the bone density here, the bone density and bone properties, basically the stiffness or the Young's modulus, should be a very accurate value, right? The major problem with bone density is that it is not constant throughout the body, throughout the bone, as well as the density varies from person to person also. It's person specific also. So you can actually enter all these data in ANSYS using different methods, basically giving each density through the element or through the coordinate system. You can enter that, and have, and you can input the forces coming onto this body part, um, um, yeah, force coming onto this body part, and do a test so that you can see how your bone, how the stresses are coming in the bone, as well as how your implant is behaving with respect to bone. Is it sliding too much? How the contact pressure is? All those kind of things you will be able to see. Hello, I think I lost the sharing. Yeah, you are able to see now.
Yes, yes, we
Okay.
can see.
Okay. Yeah, as I mentioned, you will be able to see the results like stress variations. Then you can even study the fatigue analysis in order to approximate how much life the product will be having. Um, so the last session we have done was orthopedic, different kind of joints, how it can be used, how you can modify your implants basically. We have covered in knee, shoulder, spine. These kind of joints are important because there is involvement of lot of motion, as well as there is involvement of not only structure way, fluid also plays, like synovial fluid comes into picture. So understanding the joint itself and making a optimized implant was very important. So if you have missed this seminar, you can have the recorded session. So these are the top companies that uses ANSYS in order to provide, in order to make or invent their own materials and bring it to the industry. So you can see a lot of big names here, basically. So coming into our topic today, so what I've actually mentioned before was in a general aspect, and today's topic is majorly we are looking into how simulation can help with respect to hospital equipments, right? So there are a lot of hospital equipments like wheelchair, MRI scan, prosthetics, then other scanning equipments, bed chairs. So there are a lot of equipments that will be needing a special care, basically special requirements. It's not like a normal bed or normal chairs. So in order to meet different kind of personalized ideas or personalized requirements, and simulation will help in a much better way. So here, one of the example we can see here is a simulation done in order to get a good idea about how we can model cushion for a wheelchair, right? So the most part of a time a person spend, a handicapped person, will be on this cushion part. So if the cushion is not well maintained or well developed, then with respect to time, the pressure, the contact pressure between the seat and the lower part of the body, thighs, buttocks, and everything, there the contact increases, and there is a high chance of ulcers coming. The blood flow will get reduced, and future the health issues will increase, right? So you can see here actually the comparison between a rigid seat for different thickness and a soft seat for different thickness. The analysis was done, and we were able to see the contact pressure between the body part and the seat, and we will able to see that if the majorly decreasing the pressure, if the pressure between the two bodies is less, that means it's more comfortable for the person who is using. So you can even test for different location, different positions, and so this is the same experiment that was done, basically simulation. So you can also see how we are model the cushion part. So modeling the cushion part is not as similar as any other metal or materials, because the cushions are a hyperelastic, like a rubber material, like it's highly non-linear material, like foam and all. So in order to model different kind of materials, we have material modeling inside ANSYS itself, like hyperelasticity, viscoelasticity, viscoplasticity. So different kind of material modeling is available, and you can see how actually the contact pressure, where the maximum pressure comes. So how much the foam is getting deformed and making it comfortable. Will the foam get reshaped, or how much stress is creating? You can also see. So next we come to structural integrity of the wheelchair itself, the structure that we make for wheelchair, right? So there are multiple requirements comes from different persons. Like motor wheelchairs are there. Then for Olympics, we use very lightweight but sturdy wheelchair, where we can use the composite. Actually lightweight, but we should not compromise much on the uh, uh, structural integrity wise also, right? So in that cases we can use composite materials. So the property for composite material is little different, as um, the strength of the composite materials varies in different directions. At the same time, it's very sturdy and lightweight also. So it is majorly used in Olympics for sport events and all. You can actually model, and there is a specific module in ANSYS itself in order to model composite materials, layering it up, and we can also different kind of post processing also can be done in order to find the different failures for composite, basically. Similarly, in order to understand the wheelchair integrity itself, you can model it as a aluminum, steel, and see what will be the integrity itself. How will a wheelchair's frame will deflect when a person is sitting using for multiple times? What will be the life of the wheelchair by doing a fatigue analysis? So different kind of analysis can be done in order to understand, and then we can also do vibration analysis, like modal analysis, harmonic analysis, because when you are modeling a wheelchair with motors, electrical motors, the motor will be vibrating, and that vibrating should not come to the person who is using it. He should not feel that vibration, right? So in order to dam that effect, in order to make the patient comfortable, so we can do those kind of vibration study also inside a wheelchair in order to understand that. So the next aspect of test of wheelchair is crash or drop test of a wheelchair. So we have heard like multiple automotive industry releasing data like Tata Motors or Maruti. They have 5-star rating in crash test of 3 4 star ratings, right? So these 4-star or 3-star ratings is majorly by doing this crash test basically. So the impact test and how actually affects the driver or the person who is using it. The safety feature wise, how much less damage is being caused, all those kind of things gives this star result, 5-star. If the patient, if the driver is completely safe, he will be getting 5-star. So that is how this crash test is being done in automotive industry. Similarly, for the safety features for getting the approval also, usually wheelchair drop test or wheelchair crash test is being done in order to understand how much damage can the wheelchair take or how safe will the patient be. Even not only the wheelchair, actually we can also model a dummy model, the mass of a man or mass of the person, and actually we can have velocity and give a velocity and impact it and understand how much damage it will cause to the wheelchair or the patient. We can actually see how it affects actually, and able to see how crashes work. Next, coming into stretchers, which is also a major important equipment that is being used not only inside hospitals but also in ambulance, right? So it has to be pass different tests, and it should be well designed in order to first thing is structural integrity, so that it doesn't deform or it will carry multiple loads. First thing. Second thing is whenever we are using these structures inside ambulance, it should not vibrate. It should not vibrate so that the patient will not feel that vibration of the vehicle, right? So we can actually do different kind of vibration analysis like eigen frequencies in order to understand what is the natural frequency of the structure, so that we can design initially itself, like the structure frequency should not be in this range, so that whenever we are using it in an ambulance, it will not vibrate too much. It's not only for structures, other equipments in modern ambulances like different electronic equipments are also being installed inside the ambulance. Right? So there also this vibration plays a major role. Um, to dam the vibration, the suspension should be very good, or the vibration coming from the vehicle to these equipments should be very minimal. So the transmissibility of these vibrational forces we can reduce by installing rubber shock absorbers or other kind of material, and we can actually study these kind of reactions or responses of the vibration by doing eigenvalue study. And one more other study usually being done is random vibration, where you will be able to understand uh, how much safe your structure or stretcher is inside the ambulance, right? Basically, what happens with the vehicle is that when you ride from one point to another, you don't know what will be the vibration. One day you go through one way, the vibration is different. Maybe the road will be smooth. Sometimes the road will be very jumpy. So we actually don't know how much the vibration will be. So whenever you have to do that kind of statistical approach where you will be mentioning like 1 sigma, 2 sigma, that kind of statistical approach, you can go for random vibration analysis, so that you can say that my structure is safe enough to this range of frequencies. Then coming into a next part, like bed, or the sole of the bed itself, cushion part of it. So here, this is an analysis done in ANSYS itself. You can see here, this part is with actually FEA method without actually modeling the scapula. But this is where with scapula also, the whole part body, how the contact is, the color variation that you see is actually the pressure variation, where the maximum pressure is coming to red, and green is almost the neutral pressure. So how much force is coming onto the body is that you see here. And this result is actually the experimental data, so you can actually see how similar it is, how well it is matched with the experimental data. So it's not only for a general view, also person specific also you can do it for not only for bed, basically for prosthetics where the foam comes. So where the body and the prosthetic comes in contact, there should be the part should be very soft, and the foam should be modeled in such a way that the pressure will be less. It will be comfortable for the patient. Similarly, for making different kind of shoe sole for specific people, in those areas also you can be using these kind of analysis in order to understand how the contact pressure is varying and how contact actually changes it. So before moving forward, I would like to show one example also how actually simulation is working and all. So what you actually see here is the workbench. We call it as a workbench platform. This is ANSYS workbench platform. So you can see different kind of models here, systems. You can see a system where static structural, where you do these kind of structural integrity analysis and all. Vibrational for modal, or finding the frequency analysis, you can go for modal analysis. So how you put is you just drag and drop. So this is how you bring in each system. And if you want to do multiple way, like share the model, share the mesh itself, you can do in this kind of way. Similarly, it's not only for structural way. If you want to synovial fluid, the fluid part inside the body interacts with the structures and all. So in those cases also, you can bring your fluid analysis system and drag and drop into the solution of any structure systems, so that the solution part will be automatically transferred between and communicated between two different physics, right? So here I will show the geometry part first. So for ANSYS, in order to modify any part, or in order to model any structure, there is a CAD tool called Space Claim itself. So you can actually, it's just like any other CAD tools. So you can model your structure in your requirement way, same as any other CAD tool. You can even parameterize your dimensions, different dimensions you want to mention, like thickness wise, length wise, you can parameterize it. And you can modify here if you want. Like last time you asked for bone, if you want to how to make a crack in the bone, you can actually make a crack here, model that crack here in Space Claim, draw it, and you can make it in Space Claim. Whatever modification dimension wise, you all do it in Space Claim here. So here I am only taking the structure part, only the frame part of the wheelchair, where actually the bigger wheel comes here and the smaller wheel comes here. Then here, if you go here, double click in the engineering data part, the data where you give the material data. So this is the area where you actually give the materials, different kind of material data. So from foam kind of things, hyperelastic material, or rubber kind of material. Here are the material modelings for different kind of materials, neo-hooking, Munir-Lillian. So different kind of material data are there. Material modeling is there, temperature wise. So these are basically a highly nonlinear material modeling in order to understand these different kind of complex models like form or a memory, shape memory forms and all. You can actually model inside this. Then in order to do fatigue analysis, like what is the most important thing is SN curve, stress versus number of cycle curve. All those kind of material data are being provided here. So you can model, if you want to add any new one, you can actually enter here. Uh, uh, here. Yeah. So if you want to do any new kind of material, you can click here and bring your own density. Uh, yeah, your own density. You can mention density here in different units and all. So you can actually model your material in this engineering data part. Then go into yeah. So when you open this model part from the modeling, after the geometry part, you import this here. From meshing, giving boundary conditions, giving forces, everything happens here itself. So this is the user interface of a mechanical part or mechanical FEA part of ANSYS, basically. So here you can see the geometries, the basic geometry that we are taken from the space claim or any other CAD tool for say. So it doesn't have to be space claim itself. You can model your geometries in other CAD tools as well, like SolidWorks, CATIA. Um, so you can actually import any kind of tools. It doesn't have to be modeled in only space claim or ANSYS specified tools. Other formats are also supported. Then here in this case, so in this case actually what I modeled is only the structure part, and I've given a point mass in order to give the mass of a man. So I mentioned the mass and given the transfer of that mass to these four faces. Basically, I will show that. So the four faces where the load will be transferred or where the seats are fitting. So this mass around 100 kg I have applied here. So the mass will come over this part where the seats will be attaching. Then material is structural steel that I mentioned. If you want to actually change any kind of material here, actually you can change it. You can take any material data. Whatever you have seen there is same here. There you want to enter any new data or model in from the scratch, you can go for that. Otherwise, if you have ready-made material data, you can search here. Like different materials are there, and you can actually see these material data here in order to understand this. Okay. So then comes the connection part, where if you have different connections, like bonded, here I've given a bonded connections like these members are connected with each other. So what I mentioned is bonded connection for with respect to every part here. You can also mention different kind of contact if it's a frictional contact or no separation, frictionless contact. So different kind of nonlinear contacts can also be provided inside ANSYS. Then you mesh the part. So this is a mesh that you see here. So basically this is a geometry. So you have to mesh the part in order to discretize your model, so that you will be getting data or results from every nodes basically. So then here comes the part where you apply boundary conditions. Here itself you can apply your boundary conditions. So here I just where the wheel comes, wheel is getting attached. There I've given the fixed boundary condition basically. Yeah. So here I applied the fixed boundary condition in these two parts where the wheel are getting attached. Then coming into the result part, so only the higher wheel, bigger wheel area I have attached. So I just want to show how actually the workflow in ANSYS works. So I didn't model like in actual way, parting every wheel part or the smaller part. But to understand how the workflow works, so you will be able to see how deformation when 100 kg is kept here and wheel is here, this is tilting in this direction, right? Similarly, you can see stresses where the maximum stress comes, where the region is possibility to fail. Then different kind of results are there. So you can go right click in the solution part, insert, and different kind of results you can see basically. And this is where you take different kind of results basically. So this is the overall actually generic workflow that we follow in ANSYS in order to do any kind of a structural analysis. So coming back to our presentation. So as I mentioned, like for mattresses, specific kind of mattresses, you can actually modify your dimensions of each mattress. So if you see here, this one part itself, you can optimize it in order to understand how it actually varies or how it's performed when a person is lying down. So here you can see yeah, you can see actually this is with respect to type. Suppose my analysis is done for this form where a person is lying down, and I'm taking the percentage change of pressure, how much pressure is varying with respect to type. So you can see here for a standard mattress, the percentage change of pressure is increasing. So with time, the mattress becomes hard, or with the time, the softness is lost, so that it's not comfortable for the patient. The pressure is changing and pressure is getting high and high. As you can see for this optimized or this kind of mattress, the pressure is not varying too much. It's almost constant. So it is really comfortable for the patient with respect to time also. It doesn't change much. Similarly, you can also study how the body blood flow changes with over time, right? So it's not only about the contact pressure between the body, but you can also study the fluid dynamics. In fluid dynamics, you can actually study how the blood flow with respect to time. So you can see here in the new mattress, actually the blood flow is actually increasing. It's better with respect to time. But for the other mattress, the normal mattress, it doesn't change much. Flow is almost reducing, or you can say flow is almost constant. It doesn't give a better efficiency for this mattress. Actually, I'm mentioning the paper that I've taken also. These are actual papers done or established papers. You can also check this if you require. Then coming into MRI scan part. So one of the major problem in MRI scans is the noise actually it produces, right? It can be so huge or so loud that it can actually incur hearing losses and all. So in order to understand how we can reduce the noise for different range of frequencies or damp out the sound, reduce the decimal sound, there are multiple ways actually we can do. Inside ANSYS, actually we can model uh, the MRI part. Here you what see is this two blocks are the coils of MRI part, and the whole green part you see is air. So I am also modeling the air part inside the structures, so that I will be able to get what will be the noise or the decibel accurate decibel range in different locations in the air. You will be able to get those kind of results also. So usually in how we actually reduce the acoustic noise is making an asymmetric region or asymmetric design. What I meant by that is if you see in different buildings, like very huge buildings, there will be also small, comparatively smaller, tall buildings also nearby, right? So these are actually their frequency is actually damping out the bigger buildings frequency. So when an earthquake comes or the wind load comes, uh, they they damp out with respect to each other, so that the weighing or the movement of these buildings will be reduced. Similarly, by changing the length or by changing the dimensions of these coils, you can actually control the or damp out the acoustic levels. So in this example, you can see the coils where we are changing the length. So with respect to length and with respect to a frequency range, how will be the decibel? Right. So suppose say if I am for a particular length, for suppose say for particular length of 11 centimeter of my coil, and I am operating this at a range of 200 hertz to 400 hertz, the decibel level is almost an average of 2, right? Like that, you can optimize or you can parameterize your length and see for different kind of length, and you will be able to see that for this range it actually increases a little bit, but for the other range, 305 to 345 range, actually it increases and comes down actually, right? So from this analysis you will be able to understand if my coil is in between, suppose say 13 to 17, uh, it is a better range, right? So it's good for this range. If the working frequency is this range, the decibel level is actually coming down for this range, or the higher range. But for if you are going for the higher range, the higher frequency is making more noise. So what is your working range, you can understand and optimize your model accordingly. So this with respect to one more aspect is designing fabric. Right. So in majorly in hospitals, the viruses or microbial property microbes, bacteria, getting spread from doctors or nurses, and it spread in within patients itself. So this is a major concern in most of the hospital environment. It's dangerous for the doctors as well as for the patients also, right? So we all know that silver has a better antimicrobial properties. So this experiment is actually done in Fluent basically. So here what you can see is the background part is actually the fabric with silver linings. So you can actually see how actually the microbial concentration is getting reduced with the time. So after 50 minutes or within 60 minutes, it was able to see that 99% of the contamination was removed. So these kind of analysis can be done in order to understand or in order to make better fabrics, even for masks in these COVID situations, so that the antimicrobial properties can be taken advantage of. Not only these kind of analysis, we can actually do multiple kind of analysis for respect to other instruments which is being used for operations to test out the structural integrity or the mechanisms of the different kind of operation tools, operation equipments inside the operation theater, right? So this is actually a generic presentation. What all can be done, or what is the roadmap for the health in healthcare industry, basically. So these are some of the sources that I've taken from here. So if you have any queries, you can ask.
Thank you, Manish. That was really interactive session. And in case if you do have any questions, you can unmute yourself and you can directly ask to the speaker. Like you can get quick resolution for all your queries. Please drop your questions in the chat window. We will try to take it up each and every question one after another.
Yeah, I think I see one question. Can we get a plot of number of elements versus stress for optimization purpose. Yeah, you can actually do for optimization purpose, we can get it. Inside ANSYS itself, there is topology optimization, one tool, and parameterization or design of experiment. Actually, we can get it. And there is a specific tool only for optimization. There is OptiSlang, basically, a tool only for this optimization purpose. Basically, OptiSlang it's called. Here you can have multiple parameters, and which parameters changes your required result. Suppose a multiple, not only now a number of elements, different kind of parameters are there, which affects your stress. So you will be able to understand which parameter is affecting your stress more. So all those kind of study can be done using OptiSlang also. Yeah,
Great.
regarding CT and ultrasound, yeah, I think the that session, electromagnetic session, I think it's tomorrow. It's coming up. Right, Ali? Electromagnetic session, it's coming tomorrow. You can attend that and you can ask that electromagnetic session. In that session, you can have much better clarity.
Yeah. Thank you, Vinish. And yeah, we have one more question from Rahul Gujar. Can you show how to give displacement rate on any object?
Displacement rate, if you want to get any displacement rate, that is with respect to time, right? So in order to do that, you have to do transient analysis. So suppose say, yeah, I think I'm sharing my screen. So here I have done a static structural analysis, which means that the time doesn't have much sense here. So I'm keeping 10 kilogram load, and it does a huge weight. In what time it will move in this much deflection? That time concept is not coming here. If you want to do that kind of analysis, then you should go for transient structural analysis, where you do with respect to time. So the result is also with respect to time. So if you take deformation, deformation is also with respect to time. So you'll be able to get those kind of result if you are doing static transient structural analysis.
Sure, Vinish, thank you. And we have a question from SG Ratna Narmala. What is the criteria and features of the stretcher come wheelchair?
Yeah, it actually depends. Criteria, first criteria will for the structures is majorly the strength itself. So if whatever material that you are using, it should not fail. You should go for a higher strength, safe factory. Then coming into where it is being used, if you are using those kind of wheelchair in ambulance and all, then you have to do for go for vibration analysis also, so that natural frequency does not match. Similar case when you if you are going for motors also fixing inside the wheelchair, then also you should be doing this vibration analysis. Then you should go for fatigue analysis in order to understand with the cycle, the life cycle of a product, life cycle of a wheelchair. Then the stability, you can also do the stability wise also. Like if you're going for a bank road, if you're going in a bank road, how much stable it is, right, with respect to center of gravity. If your wheelchair is, it majorly depends how you design your wheelchair. So you should go for those part also. Uh, um, how much stable it is in different conditions. Stretcher also similar kind, vibration wise also, and structural integrity also. Depending upon what kind of material you are using, these kind of strength comes into picture. But yeah, these are the main criteria that you should be looking for.
Yeah, thank you, Vinish. And a question from Riaz Faisal: is there any test done for stretcher for star result?
Uh, yeah. Okay, star result. I think you meant by drop test. Yeah, you can actually do that. Now I don't have it. Similar to wheelchair. Suppose say you have the structure geometry. It is similar to wheelchair. What we give is we will give the initial velocity, or we will model the structure just above the ground, and we will mention the velocity, how fast it is or impacting to the ground. So then we do the analysis and the impact after impacting, how it is affecting, how it is being energy is being absorbed, where all the damage is causing, how much is he getting transferred to the patient. So so these all things you can do by doing a test. And we have a tool called LS Dyna. So this LS Dyna is actually used uh, majorly. You can say it is one of the only tool that is majorly used in at least Asia part. There are other tools also, but LS Dyna is the most famous one used for in this automotive, aerospace, all kind of this explicit kind of analysis we call. So structures can also be done in the same similar fashion.
Great. Yeah, thank you, Vinesh. And well, in case if you have any more questions, you can unmute yourself and you can directly ask to the speaker, or even you can drop your questions in the chat window to the host. Well, Vinesh, it seems these are the questions that we have. Just to uh, like we are hosting a series of trainings on the same. So we have an upcoming session coming up tomorrow on charging medical electronics with simulations to deliver patient safety and device efficacy. So I'm dropping all the details here. So please kindly join this session and understand more about the simulation solutions for this specific industry. And I'm dropping all the details where you can get in touch with us over mail and over call. So kindly feel free to reach us at any time. So you can reach us at marketing@catfem.in, or even you can call us at 984 999 8435. Yeah, thank you everyone, and thank you Vinish.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Yeah, have a nice day ahead.